One half I, 34M, have spent the last 8 months living a total lie, but for once, I wasn't the one telling it. My wife, 32F, is a high-level corporate consultant who thinks she's the smartest person in any room she walks into. She's the type to use words like leverage and optimization in casual conversation while looking at me like I'm a bug under a microscope. I'm a software engineer, quiet, observant, and in her eyes, incredibly predictable. The escalation didn't start with a lipstick stain. It started with a smart thermostat. I noticed the house temp dropping to 68 degrees every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. while I was at the office. I work from home on Wednesdays and Fridays. My wife supposedly travels for clients. When I checked the logs, I realized someone was manually hitting the wall unit. I didn't say a word. I just bought a hidden camera disguised as a USB charger for the living room. I expected to see her venting to a friend. Instead, I got a 3-year timeline of betrayal. She wasn't just having an affair, she was hosting her boyfriend, a guy she introduced to me a year ago as her unfortunate cousin who needed career advice, in our bed, on our sofa, and in my home office. For 8 months, I played the part of the doting, oblivious husband. I took her to dinner. I listened to her complain about stressful work trips. Meanwhile, I was working with a private investigator and a high-asset divorce attorney. I discovered she'd been funneling money from our joint savings into a private account. She even had the audacity to make me pay for a spa weekend that was actually a getaway with him. The breaking point was our 7th anniversary. I cooked a 5-course meal. I sat there watching her sip wine I paid for while she texted him under the table. She looked at me with pure pity. "You're so consistent," she said, her voice dripping with condescension. Predictable. Like a clock that's always 5 minutes low. Do you ever feel like you're just taking up space? I look at you and wonder if there's anything going on behind those eyes, or if you're just waiting for a software update. I didn't flinch. "I'm processing more than you think." She laughed. Doubtful. "You think this marriage actually matters? You think you matter? I've been cheating for years. Right under your nose. I've stayed this long because the house is paid for and you're a great personal assistant, but honestly, I'm done pretending." I set my glass down. "I know." She blinked. The smirk stayed, but her eyes narrowed.
"What?"
"I know about the cousin. I know about the Hyatt stays. I know about the 42 grand you moved to the offshore account. And I definitely know about the video from Tuesday at 2:15 p.m. in our living room. You really should be more careful with the thermostat settings." The color drained from her face. Then her entitlement kicked in. She slammed her hand on the table. "So what? You think you're going to do something? This is my house.
My career pays for this life."
You'll get nothing. I'll have my lawyers strip you to the bone." I reached under my chair and pulled out a thick envelope. "Those are the papers."
"And the evidence."
"My lawyer is already on the phone with the process server. I suggest you look at page 12. She ripped it open, her hands shaking as she saw high-res photos of her entering hotels and stills from the home security footage. Her lawyer's business card fell out. I'd already sent a digital copy to his firm an hour prior. She put him on speaker, screaming, "Tell this loser he gets nothing. Tell him we're filing for a fault-based divorce." There was a long pause. Her lawyer sounded like he'd aged 20 years. "Stop talking."
"Right now."
"I just saw the video file his counsel sent. And the forensic accounting report. There's nothing to fight. He has you on record discussing how you intended to commit insurance fraud on the summer house to cover your boyfriend's gambling debts. I'm dropping your case. Don't call me again." The line went dead. She looked at the phone, then at me. "He can't just quit," she whispered. "He's protecting his license," I said. "That summer house fire last July? The one you claimed was an electrical fault while I was away? I found the GoPro footage your boyfriend took. He kept the file on a cloud drive you both shared. You really shouldn't have used my old tablet to log into it." She lunged for the envelope, but I swiped it away. "You think you're so clever," she spat. "Spying on me is illegal. I'll have you thrown in jail." "Actually," I countered, "the cameras were in common areas for security after that suspicious fire. Perfectly admissible. As for the bank records, You gave me power of attorney 3 years ago and never revoked it. I didn't steal anything. I just printed what was already mine. She tried to bargain. Okay, fine. 50/50ths. I'll give you the house, I'll take the investments, and we walk away. You don't want a public scandal. I laughed.
No.
Look at the second packet. It's a post-nuptial agreement. You signed a promotional release for my software venture 18 months ago. You didn't bother to read it because you said my work was technical nonsense. Page 4 was a binding postnup triggered by proven infidelity or criminal activity. You signed it in front of a notary, my sister, who you always looked down on. Her eyes went wide. She finally realized the boring husband had built a cage around her for a year. You trapped me. That's coercion. It's not coercion to ask your spouse to sign a document they refuse to read, I said. And the judge will definitely uphold the clause that forfeits your interest in the house if you use it to facilitate a crime like arson. Your boyfriend has a record for grand larceny, by the way. The DA is going to love the video of him carrying our 70-inch TV out of the summer house 2 hours before the accidental fire started. She slammed her wine glass down. You're a monster. You sat there for months, eating dinner with me, knowing all this. The same way you lived with yourself while texting him from our anniversary dinner, I said. You have 20 minutes to pack. The locks are being changed at 9 p.m. My brother is outside. He's a sheriff's deputy, in case you wanted to make a scene. She dragged a suitcase down 10 minutes later, pausing at the door. I'm going to ruin you. I'll tell everyone you were abusive. They'll know the truth. My brother is recording audio on his body cam right now. I pointed to the window. And the hidden cameras record high-fidelity audio. Every word of your confession tonight is backed up to 3 servers. Go ahead. Tell your story. I'd love an excuse to hit upload on the community Facebook group. She marched past my brother into the night. As the door clicked shut, the locksmith was already on the porch. But I wasn't done. My private investigator had already handed a folder to the precinct. The arson wasn't just civil, it was a felony. Her boyfriend was currently at the summer house ruins, looking for 15 grand in cash he'd hidden under the floorboards, money I'd already replaced with photocopies of their hotel receipts. At 11:30 p.m., she called me from a friend's phone, screaming. They arrested him. They're asking about the insurance. What did you tell them? I didn't tell them anything they couldn't see on the 4K footage, I said. And I didn't tell them to check the GPS coordinates on the photos you sent him of the empty house before it burned. That was all you. You have a choice. Stay quiet, take the settlement, and hope the arson charge gets pled down. Or keep fighting and spend 5 to 10 years in a state facility. She sobbed and hung up. The next morning we filed. Because of the postnup and the mountain of evidence, the judge bypassed mediation. Her new lawyer, a public defender, since her firm fired her for ethical violations, told her to sign immediately. She lost the house, the 400 grand in joint accounts, and her career. The court even ordered her to pay back the wasted marital assets from her personal savings. As I walked out of the courthouse, she was standing on the steps, looking small and hollow. She hoped for a flicker of the boring man she used to manipulate. I didn't even look twice. I drove away into a future that was finally, officially, bug-free. Since I'm clearly an expert at debugging messy systems, maybe you should subscribe before your own life hits a 404 error. I've officially ended the trial version of this marriage. Turns out the premium features were all scams.